Pretentious lit for Claire. The most pretentious literature I own is this pamphlet published by the Earth Liberation Front. And I will read of it until I grow bored or sick of it. Using real direct action in the form of economic sabotage, the ELF is targeting what the greedy entities care about, their pocketbooks. By inflicting as much economic damage as possible, the ELF can allow a given entity to decide it is in their best economic interest to stop destroying life for the sake of profit. What is the Earth Liberation Front, parentheses, ELF, end parentheses, question mark? The Earth Liberation Front, parentheses, ELF, is an international underground organization that uses direct action in the form of economic sabotage to stop the exploitation and destruction of the natural environment. How and when did the group begin? It has been speculated that the group was founded in the early 1990s as an offshoot of Earth First in England. The ideology of the ELF spread to North America in the mid-1990s. In November 1997, the ELF officially claimed responsibility for the group's first action in North America. The claim of responsibility was sent to above-ground supporters who released the information to the media. In the communique, the ELF claimed credit for releasing wild horses and burning down a Bureau of Land Management horse corral near Burns, Oregon, on November 29, 1997. The communique appeared as follows. Quote, the Bureau of Land Management, parentheses BLM, claims they are removing non-native species from public lands, parentheses, aren't white Europeans also non-native? But then they turn around and subsidize the cattle industry and place thousands of non-native domestic cattle on these same lands. To help halt the BLM's illegal and immoral business of rounding up wild horses from public lands and funding them to the slaughter. Wow. They threw in ellipses for no reason, and then they cut out context that made that sentence work. This hypocrisy and genocide against the horse nation. The horse nation. Oh my. Will not go unchallenged. The practice of rounding up and auctioning wild horses must be stopped. The practice of grazing cattle on public lands must be stopped. The time to take action is now. Horse Nation is now. From an investigation like the Associated Press's to writing the BLM to an action like ours, you can help stop the slaughter and save our Mother Earth. This action caused an estimated $450,000 in damages to the facility, and 448 wild horses and 51 burros were set free. Since November of 1997, there have been over 24 major actions performed by the ELF in North America alone, resulting in nearly $40 million in damages. Where is the ELF based geographically? The ELF has no centralized location. Actions have been taken by the ELF all across the United States, in Canada, throughout Europe, and in South America. The number of locations targeted by the ELF continues to increase. How is the organization structured? The ELF is organized into autonomous cells which operate independently and anonymously from one another and the general public. The group does not contain a hierarchy or any sort of leadership. Instead, the group operates under an ideology. If an individual believes in the ideology and follows a certain set of guidelines, she or he can perform actions and become a part of the ELF. Oh, Christ. This cell structure has been extremely effective in ensuring the continuation of the organization with minimal arrests, Law enforcement, particularly in North America, are trained to recognize and deal with organizations that have a leader, a hierarchy, and a central headquarters. The ELF does not contain any of these. Due to the autonomous and underground aspects of the ELF cells, an infiltration into a cell by no way means the entire movement will be stopped. If one individual, or even one entire cell, is captured by authorities, other individuals and cells will be free to continue their work as they operate independently and anonymously from one another. The cell structure is a type of guerrilla tactic which has been successfully employed by various movements around the world for ages, since the 1920s. It can be a successful tactic when used properly against a greater military power, or the police, which aren't a military fucking power. Depending on how you look at it, anyway. How many members are in the ELF? Holy shit. I'm done after this. It is next to impossible to estimate the number of ELF members internationally or even country by country. Since 1997 in the United States, the ELF actions have steadily increased and have appeared in a growing number of differing geographical areas. Therefore, it is safe to assume the group continues to grow in size. More and more people around the world are realizing the horrifying state of the environment and the extreme, continuous exploitation of people and life in general caused by the greedy individual wanting more numbers to appear in the bank account. Simultaneously, people are becoming increasingly frustrated with the exhausted state-sanctioned legal means of social change because on their own they do not work. If people are serious about stopping the destruction and exploitation of all life on the planet, then they must also be serious about recognizing the need for a real direct action campaign and their own personal involvement. One cell in the ELF can consist of just a few people who have the ability to cause extreme amounts of economic damage with just one action. It doesn't take a trained expert to become involved in the ELF. Just individuals who really care about life on the planet to the degree that they want to take actions to protect it. Environmental protection is a matter of self-defense, and the ELF actions are a natural response to the very real threats to life on Earth. Yeah, I'm done.